everybody, whoever's out there. Oh my gosh, I must be absolutely crazy. It's a school night. It's 11 o'clock on a school night. And I was just like, man, I gotta get on there. I gotta talk to these people. I gotta get live because I haven't talked to you in so long. After doing all those Vlogmas vids and talking to you every day, now it's back to the regular twice a week. So I miss you guys, and it's been a bit hectic over here. So stop in and say hi. Let me know who's there. Let's catch up a little. Yeah, I know it's late and I have like no makeup and I'm wearing what you call sad beige. Apparently that's what this is called. It's a thing. So, oh, hey, Kristen in Toronto. How's it going? You guys having lots of snow too? We had a ton of snow here in Montreal, which is normal. It's not climate change. Hi, Bella. Oh, it's good to see you. How are things going for you? I hope it's going well. It's good to see you guys. I seriously just wanted to, drop in here and just find out how you guys have been up. Oh, wait, no, how you guys have been and what you've been up to. Hi, Zippy. How are you doing? So you guys, first of all, I posted, I think, 3 videos in a row about my mom being in quarantine. Oh, I gotta look at it up close. Hi, Nishnob. Hi, Nishnob. Hi, Gypsy. Oh, thank you. Oh, you're an Aspie too. Cool. Yeah, we have like a little Aspie club going here on my channel. The channel's evolved quite a bit over the years. It's become pretty autism friendly around here. I mean, not that it wasn't autism friendly to begin with, but it wasn't so like out in the open. I remember when I first came out and I was like, yeah, it turns out I'm on the autism spectrum. And it was just, yeah, it was like coming out. It was like, yeah, I'm not normal. I mean, who knew, right? Because I know I seem so totally normal, but apparently not. I had convinced myself I was normal. Hi, Nikki. How's it going? That's nice you're in the mountains in California. I spent some time down there. I went down Highway 101 and I was in Big Sur. Some of the best time of my life, man. Was it ever beautiful there? You diagnosed at 45? Yeah, me too. I was like, I think 42 or something like that. I mean, what's the difference, right? Some people say like, oh, I want to get diagnosed. Should I get diagnosed? Like they want to pursue it, but it's like, I don't really think it matters that much unless you're trying to get services on disability or there's some reason. I mean, it's also a little bit for the validation of it. Oh, my husband's channel is called Karaoke Fugitive, but he also had Police State Radio. But yeah, like, you're on the autism spectrum, so you have certain things that you deal with. Like you might have crazy sensory stuff like I do. And that's one thing where people just don't get it. Like they just don't understand like how the sound can be so overwhelming or why you have so much trouble. So, for example, I went to have coffee with a friend of mine and I told her like I'm hypersensitive to noise. Like I cannot deal with being in a coffee shop more than 15 minutes. I mean, I'll do it, but it'll be hard and it'll take a toll on my nerves, It really will. It's just too much. And she knows that I'm on the spectrum. She has a brother on the spectrum. And I feel like when somebody understands that, they're more likely to be like, okay, accommodating you because they understand you're not just trying to be a pain. Because without saying that, well, I guess you could just say I'm really sensitive to noise. But I feel like in a way, people are more willing to like understand, but only maybe when it comes to the sensory. With all the stuff that makes me annoying, people really just don't care. That's the part where I have to like adjust myself. But seriously, like I was wait, serious commenter. Let me read your serious comment. I was looking for this video he did with Jeff C. Oh, you found it? Okay. Yeah, that was sad. Fun fact, there's a green comet out there now. There's a green comet. Cool. Stuff like that happens. Apparently, here's something that I heard. That's something that the internet does. It keeps telling us about astrological phenomenon that probably we would never pay any attention to. Did you ever notice? I mean, it's just like a little side tangent here. Did you ever notice how Facebook keeps pushing you the super moon, the strawberry moon, the this moon, the that moon, right? this comet, that comet, and seriously, like we wouldn't even notice unless you're living somewhere where the comet's going to go right over you. Bella says yes. I'm not sure. Are you saying yes for the comet and the supermoon or for the autism stuff? I know I'm just all over the place. Oh, wait. Let me see your comment. Kima, hi. You've been watching it for years. Move to Rumble. I don't blame you. I mean, seriously. Yeah, they're like, I just, I'm on Telegram, not like posting, but yeah, I find stuff on Telegram, but a lot of the time it's like several groups and they're all posting the same thing. But yeah, okay, comets and moons. Apparently, this was also like a strategy to divert our attention. It's crazy how the entire internet has just been weaponized. It's not normal. This isn't what people are out looking for. I mean, you have the people that like the animal videos or the comedy or whatever, but the stuff about, like everyone will share it and it's crazy. Sometimes these posts, they come up and then they come back like months later, people are still sharing some dumb old post. And apparently, yeah, this is part of the re-engineering of the internet. You're not going to find it. Whatever you're looking for, you're not going to find it out there. They're making sure that we're going to eventually forget what the internet was actually like when it was a free exchange of information where you didn't have to go digging in strange places to find it. There was a time where you would go on Facebook and they had a news section. Now, it wasn't like the most underground news, but it would be some diverse, interesting stories. I remember I used to go there quite a bit. Hi, Pedro. I used to go there quite a bit to see like what's going on, and Yahoo News used to be pretty good too for that kind of stuff. And they've really done something to it. I mean, it's just unbelievable. Did you ever notice how, let's say you go on Facebook, which by the way, Facebook apparently now is for old people. My son is on Discord. They don't even go anywhere near it. But just for example, like that's why I never got into TikTok, Snapchat. I don't even do Instagram. Like I'm just done. I'm just here for you guys, but I don't really want to participate in that so much anymore. I just feel like, well, look, we know what's going on. I was talking about this stuff like 10 years ago. It was like almost prophetic. Me and some other people were saying exactly what was coming. This all started, we were anti one thing. This was a really long time ago. This was right at the start of the war. We were very vocal about certain things. I'm not going to say what they are because you all know what it is anyway. And that's what it was. It started out basically an anti-war movement, and it was anti-corporatism, and we were sort of exposing how corporations have taken control, and the corporations and the government are just working hand in hand to implement their agenda to control people, and basically none of it is for the good of the people. That was the basic premise, and including the war, that we were just saying like, listen, we're just being lied to and misled all the time. I'd say like for largely it was anti-war movement, anti-corporatism, not anti-capitalism, but anti-corporatism. And we just wanted more transparency. And we said like what we thought was coming down the road, and here it is. It's here. So at this point, I'm just sort of like, I'm just watching the data roll in. There's certain people I go to. Thanks, Mike. Yeah, Babu, Instagram is all part of the same thing. And you know what though? Like I really appreciate the people like the nurses, the doctors, even the farmers, like the people that are living something and they're sharing their experience. I did share also about my mother's experience and what was going on in the nursing homes, for example, during the last couple of years. Like when you're somewhere and you're a witness and you share what you witness, good for you. That's not just good for you, actually, it's good for everyone. People do need to share, and sometimes it's scary because it's like you're not supposed to anymore. But Laura's done a lot of that. She did an interview on Police on Guard for Thee. She's now no longer working for the hospital like a lot of people. She's now doing private home care, taking care of Nona, and it's a much better life for her. It's lower stress, better pay, no more hassles, no more Birdman suit, and oh my gosh, all the stuff that they made them do. People like that, I mean, is it a whistleblower, or it's more, I would say it's just a witness, people who bear witness. I really appreciate that. People who are good at data mining and who know what they're talking about. or who are professionals and they're really giving an educated perspective, or they're really sharing data in an effective way, in an informed way. Really appreciate that. And I listen to those people. I'm just sort of watching this all play out, and I appreciate the ones that can go down to conferences like the one in Davos and get down there and tell us what's going on. I tried to do a little bit of that when I went over to Ottawa last year, but I mean, in general, you guys know how my life is. So, there's people out there that are still like they're trying to really get the real news out to people what's going on, but it's like the internet is doing everything they can to stop that from happening. Like, did you guys see? Oh, that's why I was talking about the comets and the supermoon, because that Facebook wants you to focus on. Wait, did you ever care about the supermoon before? You're probably not even going to notice it when it happens. Yeah, and a lot of people don't want to hear about it. It's true. But we don't have to talk to them about it. We want to know what's going on. I'm very curious to see how this whole thing is going to, like how it's going to go down the road. So far, it's not looking good. And there's so many things. There's the 15-minute cities. I was talking about that like years ago. I saw a presentation here in our neighborhood. Yeah, Peter, they're pushing the same crap because I don't know what do they want us to just get off the internet altogether? I mean, if you think about it though, remember the big movements they had like in the 60s, and they didn't have any internet for that, and they still organized themselves. So it could be hard to stop, when something has momentum. Vaping break. It's kind of hard to stop like when something really has momentum, but for that it needs good leadership. But yeah, it seems like with the internet, because people are getting wise though. Like even people who before they didn't catch it, now they're starting to be like, yeah, we're just getting psyoped. Oh, I was going to tell you guys what I've been watching on YouTube, which is absolutely fascinating. Oh yeah, I gotta meditate more. That's the thing. I know. I should have never stopped. Look what happened. It was going great. I manifested a whole trip to Croatia, a sugar daddy, everything was going great. I stopped meditating. All my bad luck came back. Hi, finance news. Yeah, I want to talk to you a little bit about the 15-minute cities, but lost my train of thought now. Oh yes, I wanted to tell you who I've been watching on YouTube. I tried to tell you last time and I lost my train of thought and I never told you, but there's this channel. It's called Lamont At Large. Okay, I'm going to tell you about my mom. Wait, let me write that down so I don't forget because I'm getting old. Okay, mom, 15-minute cities. I want to tell you about Lamont. I've been like addicted to this guy, seriously. He has a channel where he does a lot of visits to graveyards. Now, I don't know if you know this about me. You probably don't, unless you watched like a couple videos I did in Vermont. But I was always fascinated with graveyards. I still am. It's just there's so much history there, You see these graves, and I don't know about you, but I would just wonder, like, what were these people like? What were their lives like? You too, Michelle? The graveyard's cool. What did they die of? What happened to them? I just get so interested. I can't help myself. And I love when they have the pictures on the tombstones. I don't know what it is about it. It's something that like, it brings up a lot of emotion in me when I go to cemeteries. And I was always like that. No, I never feel sick when I leave. I've never felt anything like that. And don't start, you guys. Don't start with like, oh, I'm going to pick up spirits. I was going to graveyards when I was young, as a child. It started with the graveyard in Vermont, in West Enosburg. It was an old Seventh-day Adventist community, and the church was still there, and a lot of the town, it was no longer like the way it used to be. There was a post office, a general store. How's the hippie and Bon Jovi doing? They're doing good. So there was a carriage house and all these things, and a school, and that was all gone. It was just residential, but the old church was there, and the cemetery behind the church was there. And I used to go up there, man. I was just like drawn to it. It was just like there wasn't a whole lot going on in West Enosburg, but I was certainly like so drawn to that cemetery. And I love to see like the names of the people and the people who lived in the house we were in before us. It was just amazing, It was like the house ancestor and his wife. Oh, I should tell you the ghost story from that house though, but I don't know. I don't want to get into that now. Let's not do ghost stories. I'll write it down though. I'll tell you the ghost story some other time. Ghost story. I do have a few, but anyway. I used to go up there, and now here was the thing, okay? Like those people, I think that they lived in times where people had to be tough. I think people have gone so soft these days. They're just so like they're just soft, you know? I mean, man, did the last couple of years not show us that or what? How easy is it to scare people? How easy is it to manipulate people, to turn people against each other? I mean, really. Oh my gosh. People sure have changed. And there was this grave, and it said Lamonda on it, and there was the mom and the dad and the 4 kids. This lady had a husband. Hi, Jody. Thank you. She had a husband and 4 beautiful children. And in 1 year, her husband and one of the children died. And like 2 years later, another 2 children died. And then her last one died just like a year or 2 later. And I thought, my God. Hi, Murdy. Shout out to Murdy. Long time viewer. How do you get through life like that? That woman, I never met her. And I saw that grave. I tell you, man, it had an impact on me for the rest of my life. Mrs. Lamonda lost her husband and her 4 beautiful children, and she lived to be like 92. So she obviously didn't quit. She kept going. And I just thought, what happened to these people? And it was like 2 of them dying at the same time. And I thought they must have had epidemics. And in those days, there wasn't so much that you could do. And child mortality was high, and even the husband died. And it could have been like diphtheria or something. And man, like imagine that, to start off with so much and to be so blessed and to just have it all taken away. You know, like they say, the Lord gives and the Lord takes away. And so I went up to that graveyard, and there were some stones, well, they were like wood, and they were from the 1700s. And I don't know, it just, I stayed always like really interested after that in monuments to the deceased, you know, and like just, there's just so much history there, and I'd like to know, you know. And also the fact that these monuments are made, but then after a while nobody comes anymore, so it's like people actually forget, you know. And anyway, that's why I like Lamont's channel, because he'll do these graveyard walks. And how does he get this information? Hi, Wanda. Thank you. How does he get this information? He can tell you like this person what they did in their life, and you know, like what their job was and how they lived and how they died. It's amazing. So he's a really good storyteller. So I like to listen to his graveyard walks, and he does a lot of stories also about like murders and, you know, gangster doings and stuff. It's called Lamont At Large. And you know what? I'll tell you guys, there's something else too. As I watched more and more, I saw he started to like open up to his audience. He started to let the audience get to know him a bit, because there's this like professional barrier. All Lamont does is he just goes through the graveyards and he'll tell you the history, and that's what most people do. But he started to like tell us a little bit about himself, and he's funny too. And it's like the more we get to know him, the more you can see his neurotic side, you know? I mean, like, I'm not saying that like in a bad way, but like you do start to see like his quirks, and it's kind of endearing, but it's also kind of like I'll tell you this one story. Okay, hold on. Let me just take a little vape, and I'll tell you a story. Oh, I gotta make sure I don't let my battery die. I won't talk that long. Okay, vape it up. Vape it up. So, what was it? Oh, yes. So Lamont told a story about how he got fired from McDonald's. Listen to this, you guys. He's working at a McDonald's. He has a great channel. You guys know I clean a lot. I listen to a lot of Lamont because it's kind of very informal, and I really like that. It's just like a little chat, you know, like it feels kind of really personal, and It's kind of casual and informal. It's not like super heavy duty production. I don't like when they have a lot of cuts and when they have music over their talking and it's too much, you know. I don't need all that because I'm not actually watching it. I just need the story because I'm usually just listening to it. So he was telling the story of how he got fired from McDonald's though. And he said that they had a rule that you're not allowed to listen to music while you're working. So Lamont volunteers to come in on his day off and he's listening to headphones. So the manager or whatever tells him, you can't be listening to headphones while you're working. And did he ever pull an Anita attitude? He was like, yeah, well, but it's my day off. And I told them, well, it's my day off anyway. But they told me I couldn't have headphones on anyway. Friggin' idiots. And yeah, like he argued with them. And he's like, and they fired me anyway. And I told them, well, why should I have to follow the rules if I come in on my day off? But anyway, so it was, you know, I thought it was pretty hilarious. Yeah. Isn't that crazy? Like, I mean, it's funny. It's really funny. Man, I was like, no wonder I like you so much. You're like Anita's cousin, you know? He's hilarious too. And he drinks. He like sits in his truck and drinks in the front seat. He's like, ah, yeah, hey guys, so yeah, I'm here in, you know, whatever, Tuscaloosa or whatever, a cemetery behind me, and and he starts like opening up, and cracks a bottle, glug glug at the steering wheel. People are telling him, dude, don't drink in the driver's seat, even if you're parked. And I can't believe, you know, and he does this like, I guess he just doesn't know how YouTube works yet. One of these days, breaking the law, breaking the law. You get somebody gonna flag you for that. It's not gonna be me because I love him. But you know, I mean, really, he's just all over the place. And people are like, Lamont, you must be in great shape with all that walking you do. And he goes, yeah, if that shape is round. And he's always self-deprecating about how fat he is, but honestly, I don't see it. And then he's like, yeah, I'm just gonna go get myself some Arby's, or I think opens another beer, and I don't know, like I guess it's just, you know, you see what goes on in his mind. But I love his fascination with the graveyards. And like I said, he shows you a little bit of his like his neurotic side, you know. And I don't think he's fat at all. I think he's fine. I don't know. I don't know what he's worried about. But yeah, he's like got a little bit of an attitude sometimes, a little bit of an Anita attitude, plus the beer, you know. So like kindred spirit, I guess you could say. But yeah, like I listen to that, you know, because there's so much junk out there these days. Yeah, go check him out. Yeah, he's pretty funny. If you're into graveyards, it's perfect. There's another graveyard channel. It's called Faces of the Forgotten. And that one's good too. But that guy, it's like he does somewhat what Lamont does. Lamont At Large is the channel, since you want to know, Mr. Casual, Ms. Casual Viewer. Faces of the Forgotten, he doesn't get personal like that. He doesn't show his Anita side. It's just professional. He just shows you the graveyard. He tells you stories. He never gets into his own like neuroses and like his own, what do you call it, like his own angst or whatever, existential crisis. Lamont, yeah, Lamont, yeah, he's hilarious. Yeah, he has two channels. He has Lamont at Large, which kind of makes you wonder. Then he has Lamont on the Run, and he has Fascinating Graveyard. And you know what's funny? The guy doesn't have a house. He lives in his van. And he makes like, okay, he must make some money on YouTube. I know that a lot of the videos, because of the subject he deals with, they're probably like not fully monetizable, but people just throw money at him all the time in the chat, you know? So he's got to be making something. And he doesn't even have rent to pay. He just has his truck. He lives in a van, you guys. He's like a homeless YouTuber. But he gets tons of views. He gets like, you know, 500,000 views on his videos. Like, I mean, I don't get anywhere near that. I'm just thinking like, how much money does he make? Because I can make a couple $100 per month on YouTube. Not enough to live on, but I get like no views. This guy gets like 10 times more views than I do. He must be able to support himself, and yet he lives in the van. And it's like he's always broke, you know? It's like, where did the money go? I don't know. I hope maybe he's investing it in crypto. It's kind of intriguing anyway. Yeah, live in an RV doing YouTube and travel around is your dream. Yeah, it is. It's fun though. I'm sure it is. Although, you know what? Having been in Europe for so many weeks, I did start to feel like I had moved there and like I was permanently on the road. And it does get tiring to be in a little cramped space all the time. I remember when I came back to my apartment, I was like, oh my gosh, it's so big. It felt huge compared to those little London rooms. But anyway, yeah, check out Lamont at Large. I'm like addicted to Lamont now. Well, his videos anyway. Um, for now, you know. I mean, yeah, before it was Faces of the Forgotten, and then I found Lamont, and I was like, move over, Faces. Here comes Lamont. I got a new man now. What's this? Comments? Wait, you just found me last week, Brian? How's that even possible? I thought I was completely shadow banned. I don't know if you're talking about you found Lamont, you found me, because seriously, I don't know how anybody finds me anymore. It must have been, you know, the will of the universe. It must have been God's will or something. Oh, you've been here for 10 years. Awesome. Okay, well, it's nice seeing you. Have a good night. Okay, how's my mom doing? My mom is fine. She just, you know, I think the fact that I was there keeping her company, it helped her a lot. Nancy, hi. Welcome. Um, yeah, my mom's okay, you know. I mean, the state of mind that she's in, it's a bit like she's on acid all the time, and she has like no memory. She doesn't exactly know where she is. She wouldn't tell you like she's in a facility. Oh, thanks, Nancy. She wouldn't know that she's in like this retirement home and then she can't leave. She thinks that, you know, her mom has been there and that her dad and thank you. Appreciate the sympathy. Honestly though, I'd rather deal with my mother passing away like this than something really horrific, like where they really suffer, like with cancer or something. Because I know it's a horrible thing to watch someone deteriorate like that. And I would be terrified that it would happen to me, seriously. Oh, you found me, Brian. Well, awesome. Well, welcome. Happy to have you here. You saw it. Wait, Chris, you found me because you saw a comment on another stream regarding Truther Girls. Oh, really? Were they talking bad about me behind my back again? Let them talk. It brings people here, you know. That's how people find me. Talk bad about me some more. Go ahead. I have to talk about some real controversial shit that I did. I did a lot, though. Let's not get into it. But anyway, my mom, she doesn't really she's not fully aware, you know. I think it's harder on the people around you. I think that there was a time where she was suffering. Oh, they said they loved us. Oh, they love me. I mean, me and my alter egos. Okay, awesome. There was a time where she was very paranoid. The thing is, okay, you know, like when you're getting older and you're like, oh, where did I put my keys? Or like, I forgot something, or what do you call the whatever? And you're like, oh my God, no, it's happening already. I'm getting dementia. That's not dementia. Dementia, when you get it, you don't even really realize that you're getting it. You think that everyone else has the problem. Like, for example, you get up to go get a coffee and you get in the kitchen, you're like, what am I up here for? And then you go back to your chair and you're like, oh yeah, I was gonna get some coffee. Okay, that's normal, like I'm just getting old kind of thing. If you get up to get your coffee, you go in the kitchen and then you're like, oh, who there's a water bottle here. People have been in my house again. Oh, they're always coming in my house. And you have these ideas that people are coming into your house and moving stuff around, and it's more than just forgetfulness. It's really like being a bit crazy. Like it's really like being a bit delusional. And people with dementia, and this is no like offense to them, this is just a fact. You get like delusional. Like my mother thought that people were coming in and stealing from her in her house, and it was making no sense. Like she was thinking that people were coming in and stealing her scarves. She was hiding them because she was paranoid, so she would hide her stuff. Then when she couldn't find it, then she thought people were stealing. And I was like, but mom, your building is really high security. There's no one who could come in. And she said, But the maintenance men could have done it. The maintenance men only come in when there's a repair that it needs to be done, that you know they're coming in. It's like almost never, they almost never come in. And she goes, yeah, but they might have come in. I said, well, why would the maintenance man want to steal your scarf? And she goes, maybe he's gay. Like that's dementia logic. There's no logic, you know? And like when she would start wandering, she would walk, and she would like walk and walk, and we'd have to call the police. She would get lost. Strangers would find her on the street. Oh my gosh, it was horrible. Actually, it got so bad. Like this one time, she was wandering around in winter. It was cold, and she barely just had this little blazer on. She didn't even have proper clothing. And I don't know how she ended up so far. She tried to go back to her old place, but she was confused even how to get there. And she was sort of in the vicinity, and she needed to go to the bathroom, and in the end she had like an accident, like she wet herself. This is dementia. Like this is why you cannot let someone with dementia just wander about. Like they need to have care, like supervision. Yeah, it was scary, and it was like late at night, 11 o'clock at night or something, and somebody found her, and I went to pick her up, and she was like freezing cold, and she's like, oh, I'm sorry, my pants, and it was really like, wow. And other times, like at that time she still had my phone number in her pocket, and the good Samaritans would find her lost and would call me, come get your mom, or they'd bring her to me, or we'd have the police looking for her. And the thing is, why she's in the place she's in now, those nice retirement homes like where she was before, they will not deal with people like this. We had moved her to the secure unit. Hi, Wail. Hi, I hope I pronounced that right. We had moved her to the secure unit on the second floor, where she was like locked in basically. I mean, it was beautiful. It wasn't like a prison or anything, but it was a glass magnetic door. And even there, she climbed out the balcony. My mother climbed out the balcony on the second floor and lowered herself to the roof of the first floor. Okay, so this beautiful place that we had her in, where she had lovely surroundings and everything's nice, not like where she is now. And I was there all the time with her as well. She climbed out the window over the balcony, and she was what, 83 years old or something? She climbed out the balcony, she wandered off, the police were bringing her back. No retirement home wants to have that kind of liability in their care, because they're thinking we're going to end up on the news because something is really going to go wrong here. And because now and then you see these stories about a senior that wandered off and froze to death, or some accident, right? That's people like my mother. And that's why these fancy plushy retirement homes do not want to have people like that there, because they don't want to. I don't know about suing, because we don't sue here so much in Canada, but they definitely could end up on the news, or maybe subject to an investigation. So you understand, there was no more choice to have her in a place like that. And that was like the top of the line, that second floor, and that it was expensive, and we were spending a ton of money, because we figured, well, she's not going to live that long, so she might as well just spend her savings on having a nice life till the end. But it was impossible. She could take her clothes off in the middle of the room. I mean, really, she could be aggressive. It's not a matter of we put her in this place because we're cruel. It's because actually this is the only place where they can take care of her the way she needs it, and where she can be safe. She was in another place before that, intermediary place, where people still had all their stuff. You see in her room, there's like almost nothing there. It's because they go in each other's rooms and they steal and they fight. And in the previous place, my mother was a big magpie, and she would go into people's rooms and she would take things, and they would hit her. And we had to call the community officer because she was getting clobbered by another resident, and he knocked her over, So you understand, like, it looks bad when you see there's nothing in there, but it's for a reason. Actually, even the cupboard that they have, it's usually locked, because they'll go in and steal each other's stuff, and they'll fight over it. So that's why she's in there. And another thing is, when they get to this point, they get tired very quickly and they get confused very quickly. So keeping it very simple, like, yeah, I know there's only just a common room. It's boring. Okay, I do come and take her out for walks and all that. So, but it's just about all she can handle. Yeah, she watches TV in the common room all the time. She doesn't stay in her room alone. It would be worse if there was a TV in there and she was in there watching that TV by herself all day. Her not having a TV. Well, we paid for cable, but I don't know, it didn't get installed, but it's better anyway because she's in the common room with other people and she's like walking around. If she had a TV in her room and she started watching it, she might just stay in there, you know. Um but yeah, like they get confused. So just having a very simple setup. There's one room with a big window. Everyone's in there together, and so they can be well supervised. You know, when the place is too complicated, it just they get confused. Actually, so this unit is a special unit that's designed for people who have like difficult behavior with dementia. She's not there because we don't care and we put her in some dump. And actually, we're lucky that we got her in that place because as far as the SSL days go, some of them are horrible and it's real bedlam. It's like neglectful and dirty, and this place is not. And a lot of the staff are really cool people. Like there's one guy, Neil, who is from the Philippines, who trained to be a priest, you know, and he has an amazing way with the patients. He just knows exactly how to deal with each person. There's Greg, also one of the orderlies. They're amazing, you know. I couldn't get her to get up, and he comes up to her and he's like, Edith, what did he say to her? Edith, so looking so beautiful. There's a gentleman who'd like to have a dance with you. Like he'll say something like that, and Greg is a good-looking big guy, you know. And she gets up for Greg right away, and Greg picks her up and waltzes her into the other room. You know, they're really good. You should put buttons on these so we can tip you. Isn't there a tip button? I think there is. I don't know how it works. There usually is. I appreciate it if you want to tip me. Thank you. You want to hear the ghost story? Oh my god, I don't want my camera to die again like last time. The German treats, yeah. Yeah, my mom liked that. And she has a lot of difficulty expressing herself, but she still knows what's going on. She even jokes sometimes. Like when I said, I brought you all the special German bath salts for your feet, and she says, did you bring a bag of money or something like that, you know? And that was a big aspect of her personality that she had a very great sense of humor. That was always a big plus with her. I'm looking around to see if I have a wire. I could do something so that my phone doesn't die because that was really awful last time. Yeah, I know it looks really bad, but it really is what she needs. Like if somebody had cancer and they were in the cancer ward and hooked up to machines, you wouldn't go, oh, bring her home. How could you leave her there? Because that's the kind of care they need. And my mother, in her case with her dementia, this is the kind of environment she needs. She needs to be really secure, where she cannot hurt herself. She won't get into trouble. She won't escape because, otherwise it's bad. And we've been through all that with her, and they're good. And I'm always keeping a close eye. So I was up there a lot. Yeah, safety first, like Michelle says. It is. And this ward is designed for safety. And they do a good job, And the food actually isn't even bad. Sometimes it's not so good, but sometimes it's pretty good. Like the lasagna was good. So, I mean, it's crappy, but in the end, something happens to everyone. Now, if somebody just dies all of a sudden, that's always a big shock to the family. When my dad died, it was like 2 weeks and he was gone, I think the worst is seeing a loved one in agony for like an extended period of time. I don't know, it's always bad. I guess the best scenario would be if you live till like 96 and you die in your sleep. My mom is going to be 88 in a couple of months. So she's lived quite a long time. And I don't know. I mean, it is weird, seeing her kind of disappear in front of my eyes. But there are some aspects of her that stay. And I do have some footage. I actually want to share with you. I have a piece of footage of her from when she was 79. Wow, you wouldn't believe. My mom was one of those people. that could give everybody else advice on how to stay young and healthy forever. She was beautiful, healthy, fit, vivacious, amazing at 79, 80. And I'll tell you what happened to her. Actually, she had breast implants. And she had like a small breast cancer, but it was like a not an aggressive one or anything. And her body had like encapsulated it. So it was like a carcinoma in situ. So it was like a cancer, but her body like wrapped it up and it was not gonna do anything, apparently. So anyway, so she had this little tumor and they took it out. She refused all the other stuff like chemo and whatever. She refused the hormones. She just like, oh, it's fine, just take it out. No, I don't want these things. You mean to say if I take this medication, there is less chance that the cancer will come back in my breast, but there's more chance it will come in my uterus? No, thank you. That was her approach. Oh, terrible side effects. I don't think so. So anyway, she recovered really well from that. Then after, as a follow-up, they tried to give her a mammogram, and maybe because she had these implants, they couldn't get a good view. They mammogrammed her 6 or 7 times in a row in one day. I'm not kidding. Over and over and over, they mammogrammed her boobs. And guess what? They busted her implants. They popped both of them. And these were old implants from like the 80s. And one of them was saline and it just sort of deflated. And the other one was silicone. I can't imagine what my mom had in her body. And it's kind of amazing she was so healthy with this old junk in her body. Yes. And so she had a ruptured silicone implant. And I think they even ruptured the capsule. And that silicone spread all the way up here. And it was awful. It was like herniating almost here, and it was huge, and it was so hard, and the whole thing, I guess it made a new capsule, and it was just everywhere, and it recapsulated, and it was hard, and nobody would touch it. The doctor who took the tumor out didn't want to touch it. Nobody wanted to be responsible for what happened to her boobs. Yeah. And my mom is so positive. She's walking around with this busted, herniated implant thing. Happened to your friend after double mastectomy? They busted her implants in the mammogram. Oh my God. No, it's Canada. We don't do lawsuits. That never even came up. Thanks, Kimmy. Yeah. So, I mean, my mom is so compliant, And she just kept letting them do more and more mammograms. And I'm like, okay, well, we didn't get a good one. Okay, you can put my boob back in the compressor. Maybe next time you'll have better luck. Anyway, busted her implants, and she went around with this thing, and it was causing her problems. Like she had like chest pain, and like she had some issues where she was like getting faint or something, and they sent her for tests, and they catheterized her heart from the artery in her leg, and they're like, your heart is perfect, clean. There's nothing in there. They never found anything wrong with her heart, but eventually somebody agreed to take out her implants. And I mean, it was a real disaster. And when they took them out, like it was such a mess in there that when they took it out, they took out so much tissue that all of this was gone. Like the whole like inner part of her breast was just like scraped away. No, Lily. No, Java Lily. It wasn't the implants. Those things were busted, and they stayed busted for a while, and her body made a new capsule. Okay. What happened was when she had the surgery to remove it, because it had been like this for so long, they had to scrape away so much. She had an uncontrolled bleeding, and they gave her 3 blood transfusions. And when she came out of the surgery, she wasn't the same. And we thought, well, okay, maybe she'll, she's a little foggy. But the thing was, she never came back, and she was still okay, and she still had her personality. But she was starting to change, like something wasn't right. She was always like perfectly groomed before. Now sometimes like her buttons weren't done, and she was wearing the same suit from 3 days ago, and like some little things were changing. Within a year of having that surgery, she had to go to a home, and her score, by the time we brought her to this very fancy place, it was around March, and the cutoff score was like, I think it was 25, and she was already at a 22. She went all the way from a 30 to a 22 in like a year. And so she was below the cutoff. But anyway, they agreed to take her. and she went in there in November of 2017. But I found out after, and I did a video about it, that surgery over the age of 65 carries some risk of dementia, apparently, of Alzheimer's. There's something about it. They used to think it was anesthetic, then they ruled that out. And they thought maybe it was the surgery itself, but they noticed it was associated with blood transfusions. And my mother had 3. And I'll tell you, man, she came out of that surgery and she wasn't the same, and she went right into dementia. So probably it's the surgery and the transfusions create some inflammation that maybe she was able to fight off the dementia before with her extremely healthy lifestyle, because she did the coconut oil, turmeric, bacopa, you name it. Whatever you guys could say that my mom should do or should have done, she was doing it, and she was perfect. But the surgery just, I guess it just overrode all of that. And that's how it happened. And you can go on the Alzheimer's Society website and see, or association or whatever, they'll tell you that a certain percentage of Alzheimer's cases are triggered by surgery. And I stumbled across this by accident. Somehow I came across Alzheimer's developing after knee or hip replacement. That's how I found out. And then I was like, oh my God, it was like right after her surgery. But people don't know, so they don't make the connection. But what can you do, right? So that's how it was. That's how it started. So sometimes there's really nothing you can do. I mean, she did everything right. And in the end, it was just something like that, you know, that's what happened. But your mom had breast implants. You know, I really don't think it's from the implant rupturing. I really think it was from the surgery. And people get dementia who don't have breast implants. No, they have, hi Pam. No, they've studied it, and at first they thought it was the anesthetics they used, but then they realized it wasn't. Eventually they tracked it down to the transfusions and the surgery itself. Kind of makes me wonder too, like when people over 65 go and get tummy tucks and stuff like that, like does it happen after that? I don't know. Yeah, we're going to talk about breast implants on another video. I'll tell you more about that. I don't want to get into it now. Seriously, I'll be here all night. But I'm going to have to talk to you about that at some point. So I'm just looking at, what did I write here? I took notes before so I wouldn't forget. No, her liver was fine. 15. I can't even read my notes now. Anyway. Oh, the 15-minute cities. Yeah. No, well, I'll just say one thing, because I should go, because I'm going to run down my battery, I'm sure, and I do not want that to happen again. But that whole 15-minute cities thing, I was talking about this like 10 years ago. And I remember they did a presentation here where it was like they were showing a movie, and what they did was, see, you got the suburbs and you got the city, and what to do about the people commuting. Well, turn the suburbs into cities. So the plan was to make those suburbs have more of the stuff people need, so they don't have to keep going back and forth to the city. And basically it was the 15-minute cities that whatever you want, 15 minutes, what, walking distance, you're not going to go very far. Apparently now, like, where was it, the last one that I saw? Was it England? There was one in Germany too. They were like blocking off streets. And there's videos, oh hi Red Spiral. There's videos where they put these things to block the street, and then on the CCTV you see the residents coming in, like just moving those things. Like, screw this. They move it. Oh, you're in Mazatlan? Okay, they move the things that are blocking the road. Love you too. And they just drive right through. I mean, seriously, I saw one. It was in a residential neighborhood, and it's like, it's hard enough to get around as it is. Now you're going to block the streets. They tried that here. I've said this so many times, I feel like a broken record. Our Mayor Valerie Plante is big on blocking streets, but she keeps comparing it to Europe. Oh, but in Europe, they have pedestrianized streets. Yeah, they do, but they're mega cities, and then they have like a few like really small streets that are just for shopping. Nobody needs to drive there anyway. We're not talking about blocking the main arteries, and public transportation is fantastic. They have this extensive subway infrastructure, which we don't have. And our bus system, when I went up to see my mother, the bus is scheduled for a certain time, it doesn't come on time, and I was there early, I did not miss the bus, then you have to wait like another half an hour for the next bus. So that's the big difference between here and Europe. We do not have the infrastructure. And then they narrowed our streets. They closed our streets. People are parking on the sidewalk in downtown Montreal. You want to go to Best Buy? They've narrowed it to one lane. Why? In the middle, we only have like one big commercial street, St. Catherine, and I guess Saint Laurent as well. But all the big box stores, the big stuff, that's all in St. Catherine. And then they decide to narrow it so it's like one lane. It used to be like 3 or 4 lanes, and they shrunk it down. They made the sidewalks huge. I don't know what for. What? All those tourists for the jazz festival? That doesn't explain it. So people literally just park on the sidewalk. I've done it too. I've parked on the sidewalk, put my hazard lights in, went into Best Buy and like ran back out and just hope I don't get a ticket because there's nowhere to put your car. It's so crazy. And you know, it'll cost me $6.50 just to go down there on public transportation. It's crazy because most of the time the stuff I'm doing, I need a car. Like I'm going to Costco. What do you want me to do? Bring my Costco stuff on the bus with me after? Like, what am I supposed to do? Bring like a little cart? Maybe I'll get myself a donkey and I'll have like a little donkey cart and then I'll bring that on the bus. I don't know. We're going to have to invent some kind of special luggage that people will use when they do their shopping in the city because so that you can take public transportation. I mean, it's just not doable, you know? Yeah, I've got 4 rabbits. That's what I'm going to have next. I'm going to have 4 rabbits and a donkey. And I'll put all my stuff on the donkey, you know? I should bring it up with Valerie Plante. How about you make us a deal? For everyone who starts using public transportation, you supply us with a free donkey to just sort of fill in the gaps, you know? But yeah, it's all part of that 15-minute cities thing. And it's, New Zealand now, they had their first for real climate lockdown. I don't know what the disaster was because I didn't catch like the whole story. I don't know if it was a flood or what, but they had some kind of disaster. Maybe you guys can tell me. And they put people on lockdown. Like they closed the schools and they told people don't go out and whatever. I don't think it's quite exactly the same, but it's very similar. So now that people have had the experience, they'll never be the same. It's like everyone is traumatized. Remember the curfews? We were the only place that had curfews in North America. Yeah, they sure trained us, you know. So then when there's some kind of other issue, they can bring some of that stuff back out. Yeah, climate lockdowns and the carbon credits. I mean, it may or may not work. It might be delayed, but I you know, it's pretty obvious. Who's going to Anarchapulco? Wait, we have run into our first guy in an RV who's going to Anarchapulco. Oh, cool. Okay. How many groceries are near your home? Thanks, Jody. Yeah, I really love doing the lives with you guys. I love talking to you. You guys are the best, seriously. Absolutely. Oh yeah. Oh, I'd love to go to something like Anarchapulco. I don't know. My life is so boring now. Just like mom, caregiver, you know. It's okay though. I've had my fun. I don't need to go to Anarchapulco. It sounds kind of crazy. We'll send little Karen there. Remember Karen? She lived in Mexico. Send her to Anarchapulco. Actually ran into Karen the other day, in case you're wondering. She looks good. Blonde. Yeah, if you guys ever come up to Montreal, say hi. They have 15-minute cities. I mean, I showed you that clip also from the newspaper. Like these little things, they're trickling in. And it's not just random. They're not just like, oh, some crazy freak out there thinks that we're going to have limits on how much meat we can buy. That's never going to happen. Or how much gas we can use. And they were telling us, you're going to have an allowance of carbon credits. Come on, programmable digital currency. That's the ultimate control tool. They can pay you and then tell you what you can do with your money. It's like, this is what you can do with your allowance. I mean, thanks, Dad. Can I buy some meat? No. Here's some, you can get your crickets. Here's your crickets and your soybeans. But yeah, I mean, it can easily be done. Even if it's, you know, even if it's not your boss who gives you your money, it could just be done like through the bank or whatever. Thank you, Jeffrey. Get rid of our phones. We can't, though. We can't. We can't function without them anymore. I'm like a really old dinosaur who refuses to get with the times. I was thinking about this the other day. I was looking around and I was like, man, they all use internet banking. They're all used to it. The young people. I am so old. You ever feel old, you know? I was like, man, look at these people. They're all doing all their stuff with like scanning apps and like sending money. And I'm like, well, I did master the bank card. I mean, there was a time where we used cash. I was thinking, but there's still old people now who haven't even really gotten used to that. They go and they pull their money out and they still use cash. You know, we're going to have to wait a while. They will never get used to all that digital stuff. It's going to be hard. No, I mean, I have PayPal and stuff like that, but I don't use it for anything except for like YouTube and like paying things online. I use a bit of cash. There's still like some cash going around, you know, it's not like people don't use it. But yeah, like this is a different world. I have a friend who makes an insane amount of money with crypto. She's got this app that like buys and sells crypto for her. I don't know. She's an absolute wizard though. She's really smart. And she told me she took some kind of course that teaches you how to use the app. And then she had to invest $2,000 and it makes money while she sleeps. She, literally, like we went to Costco together and she's like, oh, I made $100. She told me like I could take the course, but I was like, oh, whatever. I'll probably like pay the 3,000 for the course, invest the 2,000, and then like never figure it out properly, just like lose all my money. She's really, really smart. I don't think I could do it. But yeah, people are doing stuff like that. She buys like 20 different cryptocurrencies and it's like an algorithm and it tells her how to buy it, like when to buy it, when to sell it. I don't know. Anyway, she's like mastered it. And she just like the money just like rolls in 24 hours a day. Digital beast system. Yeah. Oh, thanks, Joan. Yeah, I know it's too late now. Anita would have been good back in the 90s. Yeah. Yeah, she makes money at casinos too. She's a total wizard. I actually recorded her at my party and then I lost all my footage, so it wasn't meant to be. She's an absolute wizard. She has tricks for slot machines. She says like there's a certain time where like it'll pay out and you have to know exactly like how long it's been since somebody used it and then it's going to pay out again. And you just she like goes to one, gets paid out, and then leaves that machine and then like finds another one. She has tricks for everything. It's crazy, this girl. She just like makes money like you wouldn't believe. Yeah, the whole thing with silver and gold. Like seriously, imagine if the whole beast system crashed and we're all stuck with our little silver coins. I have some too, right? And then what are you gonna do with them? Because the system, it has tentacles. Somebody's gonna what, trade you something for silver, and then they have to sell the silver. Because the silver itself doesn't actually have any value. What are you gonna do with it? Put it in your teeth? Make some jewelry out of it? Yeah, I mean, whatever. So I've been taking care of my family. Oh, I'm renovating Erin's apartment again, trying anyway. I'll show you. I recorded a bit, so I'll trade your silver for food. Yeah, but who wants the silver? What are they gonna do with it? They can't eat it. You're probably better to like trade labor for stuff, exchange like a barter system. That to me that would be probably a better thing than something like silver. Or you can make some kind of promissory notes. Like there's been projects like that. You can eat gold. Yeah, you can eat silver too. Apparently in India they do it. Small amounts, you know, on the dessert. But I mean, I don't think that silver will do that much in the end. Yeah, barter system might be better, but you have to have people organized for it. You have to have enough people doing it. So let's see. I was just thinking, was there something else we wanted to talk about before I go? I'm afraid my camera's going to die. Oh, that's cool. You put your money in your RV and went to Mexico. That's cool. Watch out for the rabies in Mexico, though. Apparently, they're having a bit of outbreak of rabies in Nayarit and Oaxaca. That's crazy because Mexico was rabies free. They had vaccinated all the dogs, and it was rabies free. There was no human dog to human rabies in ages. Cats too. Like it was all And I think it's because of the pandemic, like something, it was, I mean, I remember when I was in Mexico back in the 80s, I was terrified because there were dogs everywhere, little piritos running around in the restaurants, and there would be outbreaks of rabies, and they put posters, and then they got that under control, and now, like, it's backtracking, and humans are coming down with rabies, so watch out in Mexico. I mean, seriously, like, there's nothing scarier than that. Oh my God. Me and the diseases, though, right? But yeah, just be careful. Well, it's starting, like if they don't get things under control. They had just a few. Oh, thank you. Wait, what was her name? Oh, thank you, Mark. Yeah, so I'm just fixing Aaron's apartment. Gonna go visit my mom. I got burnt out though. Like I was up there so much. Like I can't do more. If I also go and see my mom like every other day or every day, it's too much because something else not getting done. My apartment was a mess. Aaron wasn't taken care of. I was so burnt out. I never posted my heart attack video. I have to keep reviewing it. I'm like, oh, they might think this, they might think that. It's like not even worth it. Just go watch Dr. Campbell. He'll tell you everything. You don't need me to tell you. You already know anyway. He's got all the data, but whatever. Oh yeah, I was making some jewelry too. That always refreshes the soul. I want to show you my jewelry. Oh my God, you guys, wait. Oh, I'm gonna die if this thing. Wait, I gotta plug it in. If this thing dies again and I have to delete my live stream, that would be a disaster. Give me 1 second. I'll show you one last thing. You have to see these. They're so gorgeous. But excuse me for a second while I go get my plug. You guys still there? Remember I was telling you I was making jewelry? Oh my gosh, I'm having so much fun on Marketplace. It's crazy. I've been selling so much stuff lately, like almost like every day. Having such a blast too. Met nice people. I'm giving them discounts too. I'm like, yeah, whatever, just take it. Get it out of here. I want to go back to the thrift store, get more stuff, get more loot. Oh, and I tried Kijiji and I hated it. Because you really don't know who you're dealing with. You can't see anything about the person. I put up this wig on there and like everybody wants the wig and I was just like, eh. And I keep forgetting to check Kijiji and answer messages. Hold on a second. Now Facebook Marketplace, it's great. I get to scope out their profiles. I get to talk to them. I know who I'm dealing with. It's been perfect. Oh, my battery's fine. Yeah. And I get to go, oops. Okay, don't do that. I won't do that again. Oh no, what's happening? Okay. Don't touch it, Sonia. Oh yeah, and I found something out. You don't have to worry about selling on Marketplace because nobody's going to rob you when you're selling Playmobil. You have to think like a crackhead. Crackheads don't want to go for somebody who has Playmobil or some toys or, some used sweaters or whatever. The drug addicts, they just want the iPhone or like the gold jewelry or something like that. Expensive items, you might get robbed. And it turns out, I really looked into it. You guys, you know how I might do my research. I looked into it. You're just as likely to get robbed outside your house than inside your house. Maybe even more likely. People think, oh, if I meet it, it's Sonia with an I, Wanda, since you asked. If I meet the person in a parking lot somewhere, I'll be safe. No, people get ripped off meeting people outside the house, actually. They get robbed in their cars. Sometimes the person will bring the money and take the item, give you the money. Then they'll send their goons to beat you up and take the money back. I mean, really. The police station has a place where you can now exchange items. So if I was selling something expensive, I could go there. But seriously, no crackhead is going to take, I mean, think about it. This is a person who wants drugs. They want money right away. They're not going to like click on an ad for a Ninja Turtle, contact the person, go to their home, and with, you know, with the intention to rob them. They don't know what they have. All they know they have is a Ninja Turtle. Maybe a complete waste of time. They're gonna want to go somewhere where they think people have stuff, money, you know. So I feel like it's totally fine. And plus, I always scope them out on before I meet with them. You know, sometimes I meet them in the lobby. That sound was my chair, by the way. I'm sitting on a leather chair and it just made this horrible farting sound. I was like, oh my god, no, it's the chair. Hold on, let me get my jewelry. It's like Anita farting on a live stream. No, Anita, you didn't. Okay, let me show you what I have. I need a hit. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's really how it works. Oh my god, you guys have to see these earrings I made. It's so crazy. And I can't believe how passionate I am about this. I love making it so much. And I don't even have pierced ears. High-end stuff. Yeah. Some people have gotten harmed. Well, you know what? I looked it up online. Like, I was looking at, like, what are the cases? And it's always, the people who had this happen is always, like, because of, they're selling something expensive, you know? I mean, let's say I go and meet somebody down in the lobby. There's not really a higher probability that that person is going to want to do me harm just because I agreed to meet them on Marketplace. If they're your basic predator, like maybe they want to kidnap me, I don't know why. I'm not exactly fresh meat, but let's say, okay, they want to meet me in the lobby and then like drag me into their van. Why? Why meet me in the lobby? Why don't you just go and pick somebody out there? You see something you like, follow her home, and do your thing, you know? Like, why would you scope somebody out on Facebook Marketplace? Oh, she's got the Playmobil. I'm going to stuff her in my van, and I'm going to steal her Ninja Turtles, too. Trust me, I have nothing of value that any crackhead would want. Okay, let me show you what I do have, though. Hold on a second. I've been busy. I've been a busy little bee here making jewelry. Okay, wait. Here it is. Check this out. Isn't that the coolest thing? Wait, is it focusing on it? Can you see that? Doesn't that look like candy? I love it. It's like Italian style millefiori beads. See, they got little flowers in them. And I just stacked them up like that. They look like candy. Those were good. And I made these too. I mean, these are just like really simple. I'm just experimenting. Okay, good night, Mark. Okay, there's this. They look like candy too. See, they got the little... Why does it look so blurry, or is it just my eyes? It's not focusing very well. Can you see it? So they look like little candies, like hanging on your ears. They're cute. And these ones, like drop earrings. But what's cool about them, where's the lens? It's over there. What's cool is that they're glass. Yeah, I've been just making a ton of earrings right now because I got the little thingies for the earrings. Okay, here are the blue little stacks of candy. I mean, I will eventually like get my act together and like sell them in such a way that they're online. But look how cool this is. I think it looks amazing. It's pretty funky. I'm crazy about this. It's so cool. It's, whoops. No. Where did it go? Oh no, and I can't even see anything now. I dropped it. I'll find it later. Okay, and I have this one. This was like my favorite, making these. Look at that. They're like, this one has like all hearts in it. I'm gonna put these up though because this is like Valentine's Day style. Like, see, they're like little hearts, little glass hearts. That's my Valentine's Day one. And then this one, these are actually really cool vintage beads. These are really old. These are Japanese from the 70s, and it's like a kind of millefiori bead, but it's a ceramic bead with like, wait, no, it's glass. No, it's a millefiori bead, but apparently these types are Japanese, and these are like vintage beads also. I think they're pretty cool. Yeah, I'm a hippie. Yeah. And then I have these. These are also the little millefiori beads. And with those little sparkly blue ones, they're so pretty. I cannot wrap my head around having things dangling from my ears. Oh yeah, and then I made these. These are like huge. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep them or I'll take them apart. Tell me what you think, okay? It's all vintage glass, but it's like super long. What do you think? Is that too long? Is that like too funky? Tell me what you think. It has like a millefiori bead with a flower in it. And the flower, you probably can't see this, but it really looks like a real flower inside there. You love them? You don't think they're too long? Would you guys wear this? Because like I said, I don't wear earrings. I think they look cool. They're like unique, you know? Yeah, and long enough that it's kind of like, whoa. But not so long that it's ridiculous. Not too funky. Well, to me, funk is good. I'm an old raver, right? I think these are super funky. And I didn't just like randomly throw them together. Like I designed each one. And this one has like little petals around the flower part holding it. And it really looks like a flower inside. Yeah, I put a lot of like thought into the design of them. So those were my fun little, oh, there it goes again. My fun glass beads. That's what I've been up to. You got to do stuff that makes you happy, right? That makes you feel alive. I mean, sometimes I get into it and I spend a lot of time doing it. Other times I don't make any. And then I showed you these before, right? I don't want to drop these. They're fragile. These ones are coral. Wait, where's the long one? That one's the coolest one. Yeah, check it out. It's with like coral branches. But the thing was, the stem is silver. Thanks, you guys. The stem is silver. This is real coral, but the findings in there are not real silver. And then I thought, does it make sense to put something nice like coral with like a silver zinc alloy? Is that okay? Aren't these cool? Like, and I've never seen anything like that. Like the shape of it. I made 2 pairs. And this one's really cool. Look. Isn't that a neat thing? I think it's pretty cool. It's really different. And then I have the ones that are turquoise and coral. They're pretty cool too. I think these are great. If I had pierced ears, I'd wear all of these. And then I had some of these that I just used this. And this is really old turquoise. And there's something really cool about it. It's like little pieces of gum. And I'm telling you, I put a lot of thought into them, like to make them look good. You know, I didn't just throw them together. And I don't have the pierced ears, like I said before, several times. But, yeah, like once I come up with a nice design and I like the way it looks, then I want to get more similar material so I can make more of the same and I don't have to like redesign it every time. Yeah, you like the turquoise and coral? Me too. I love that style. So, I mean, for now, yeah, I just made a lot of earrings. No, I don't want to pierce my ears. I wanted to when I was young and my mother wouldn't let me. And then, I don't know, I got to a certain age and I think I was just too old for it. I think it's something you have to do when you're young. You know, otherwise you get used to your ears not being pierced. I don't know. I don't think I could do it. I don't think I could, like, deal with something hanging from my ear. I mean, it does look kind of cool, though, doesn't it? I don't really do much, like, to adorn myself. I don't wear a lot of jewelry and earrings. But, yeah, I was pretty stoked making these. And then I made, like, this one, I'm working on it. I just haven't figured it out. I haven't figured out whether I wanted to make it longer They got infected? Aye. So do you have them pierced now or no? Which ones? You love which ones, Pam? The turquoise and coral? See, this has real silver. Like, that's a real silver finding. That's, I mean, I think that's awesome. That's a gorgeous finding. That looks pretty cool. I mean, I'd like to put real silver. I don't want to have like cheap garbage. And these are cool too. I'm working on these. These are like vintage glass beads, but I think I'm going to take it apart. I think I might put like a flower. I want, you know, those like things that they're spacers, but they're shaped like petals, and I have them, but they're not silver. But now I'm like, I need silver. But see, it just looks like simple beads, but they're these cool vintage glass beads. They're awesome. And then I'll make some like bracelets or something. But I guess I just really like making the earrings because you can do so many different things. And this one, it has those same vintage Millefiori beads. Those are some pretty fancy beads, you know? Like they deserve silver. Can you see it? I think maybe it's enough with just that. That's pretty cute. I didn't want it to look like a snowman though. Yeah. And then I had these also. I'll show you this last one. Turquoise and coral. Yeah, I love that too. I'll show you this last thing. I am going to get it together. And I mean, you know, the thing is like, I'm selling on Marketplace. I mean, I was thinking I could open a thing on Etsy, but I keep hearing about what people do on Etsy is they'll order the thing, then they'll say they didn't get it or it was broken or something, and they'll ask for their money back, and the platform like Etsy or eBay will take their side, and they'll keep your merchandise and they'll keep their money. And you know, if it's a little pair of earrings like this, that's not a big deal other than the fact that you get ripped off for the shipping. But I have some things that are much more valuable. I feel kind of like, I don't know, like I don't want somebody to do that to me. Hammered and Wired, that's your site? Oh, you were on Etsy and you had your own website. Tell me how it went. Your son does? I keep hearing these horror stories. Like I joined these like, you know, groups for like people who like, you know, vintage items and stuff like that. Yeah, no guitar in the background. That's weird. I better go check that he's breathing, you know. When he's quiet, I'm like, what happened? um, oh, thanks. What's it called? Hammered and Wired? That's so funny. I love that. Is that what you said? Hammered and Wired? Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. I like that. I like that sound of that name. Hammered and Wired. That's perfect for me. That's genius. That's so funny. I'm going to write it down. Hammered and Wired. All right, cool. Thanks. Oh, that's hilarious. Oh, of course I get that name. Yeah, right away. I'm like, Hammered and Wired. Yep. That's hematite. No, wait. Malachite. Apparently, this is supposed to be good for your immune system or something. I'm not too knowledgeable about what crystals are supposed to do, but this apparently has some kind of healing properties. They're cool too. So apparently, you guys, I can offer shipping on Facebook Marketplace. I'm already on this platform. I have like 100 listings. I have already ratings. I already have like stuff going on there. So do I really want to move somewhere else? I don't know. But I was thinking, if I can do that and I can offer shipping, maybe I can share those listings on the Facebook page. The problem is like nobody ever goes there. Maybe I can even put them on Patreon. I don't know. I'd have to experiment with that, but you know, why not? And then if you guys want them, you can just let me know and I can send them to you. I'll figure something out. But I just want to have a place where I can put all the stuff and just keep it going, you know. But I'm having a lot of fun making these for the time being. And also just selling all my bric-a-brac and my thrift store finds, and I really like doing it. Apparently it's a thing with middle-aged women. We like thrift stores. What is Anita going to do now that she's back in Canada? She had to go to the quarantine hotel. You're going to see how that went. Hi, Ruth. Thrift store junkie. Yeah, like I usually try not to go too often because, you can go in there like just buy a lot of tchotchkes or whatever and fill up your closets. But I mean, I do really like going. Hi, eccentricity. Thanks for being here. Is it flavored? Yeah, this is like a super old style vape. Look, I have tape on it to hold it together because the pods don't match the cylinder, but it's my favorite. This is the one that got me to quit smoking. That was years ago. It's flavored. Well, it's mixed with the tobacco flavor with the original pod right now, but it's like a lemon guava or something like that. Okay, I'll tell Anita. Why? What's in the pink one? I don't even know what's in it. Hi, hi in Michigan. Gone, mom. It's not better than smoking? I don't know. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. At least my house doesn't smell like smoke. There's that. That was a big deal. I hated that. I couldn't stand it. And I was always like with the smoke. So, it's not perfect, but what can you do? Sometimes I chew the gum. The gum's good too, but it's not the same. This is like my pacifier. It's my passy. Oh, you use the thrift store finds in your mixed media art? Oh, that's cool. Oh, well, congrats, Michelle. That's great. I did quit smoking completely, but it was like I had such bad ADD, I couldn't even get out the door. I was starting to really worry that I was like losing my mind or I had dementia or something. And I realized that either I have ADD and nobody can tell because I vape so much, or I'm just really addicted to nicotine. I don't know, but it was like 2 whole weeks. I did quit one other time when I was young. I quit for like a couple years. Oh, Pam, I'll tell you on Patreon. I'm Aries. I remember, well, I don't really remember too much about what Aries is supposed to be like. Maybe not stubborn, I think, or like headstrong or something. I don't know. I had like, was it an astrological chart done once when I was young, and the guy told me that I was going to be famous, and he said famous like Madonna. And then when I wasn't like famous, but I was like a little bit internet famous, like in the early days of my YouTube, not so much now. But at the time there, I used to get like a lot of views, and I was like, oh, that guy was kind of right. It's kind of funny how it turned out. He's like, oh, you're going to be entertaining people and you're going to be known and stuff. So I don't know, maybe there's something to it. He didn't tell me it was only going to last a few years, but that's fine. It happens to a lot of people. It helps you when I vape. I can do it some more. It's no problem. A Gemini? Okay, I don't really like super believe in astrology, but my son is a Cancer. And you would not believe how many pillows he has on his bed. He has 6 right now. He totally. Oh, Aaron is a Capricorn. Actually, he just had his birthday. Um, yeah, I actually made a little video about his birthday and his apartment, so maybe I'll put that up. Oh yeah, like they say, Cancer totally spoiled, wants all the creature comforts, always has to be the best of everything, the best food, and all the pillows on the bed, and that's exactly Gunner. Yeah, yeah. I heard Capricorn and Aries was a good match, so I guess that worked out for me. Actually, he's right on the cusp with Aquarius. Moody. Gunner's not moody, but he's definitely like he likes all his comforts. Oh my gosh. Okay, Ruth is going to a thrift store to look for a tape player. See, that's a great thing about Marketplace. It's like a thrift store, but you can just only get what you want. You don't have to look at all the junk. You can just say like vintage cassette player and it'll turn up. You know what I'm looking for? They call it essoreuse up here. It's like an old-fashioned ringer. It's like a wooden frame and it has these 2 rolls, and then you crank it and you put your clothes through it. Because you guys know I do hand washing to save my clothes. I don't hand wash everything, but like my delicates, like the sweater and stuff. No, Gunner's a Cancer, totally spoiled, sleeps lots of pillows. Um, yeah, so I'm looking for one of those. I have my eye out and I keep looking it up on Marketplace, and that's the kind of place you would find it. And I found one, but it's like out in Saint Jérôme, and I can't imagine I'm gonna drive like an hour there. I'll be like, "Salut, Claude." You know, I'm going to go all the way up there to see Claude for his essoreuse so I can crank my laundry because that would make my life a lot easier. Those things are great. I mean, and it's good for the environment too. They should bring those things back because you hand wash your clothes and then you crank it through the thing and it takes out all the water. It's like the spin cycle and you just hang it up. You grab from the other side of the wringer washer. Oh, those things are good. I'm a big fan of those ringers. Okay, bye, Lady Homestead. Nice to see you here. Wait, what's this? Everybody's taking their RVs down to Mexico? Oh, they're all Canadian, really? Oh, well, no wonder. They wanted to get out of here. I don't know if I could try. You know what? I get discouraged when I was in Europe and I tried to do lives outside because the visuals were so bad. It was grainy. It was horrible. Um, I could try again in Montreal, though. I'd like to show you what it's like here right now. I don't mind the snow, but I do have a car now. When I didn't have a car, it was much worse. I mean, it was really not easy without the car. Hold on, I just want to check something. Hold on a second. I want to check something. I just want to see something on my live while I'm here. Where is it? No, that's not it. I'm going to go on my own channel, but I have the sound turned off. I just want to check something. Yeah, but it's not the scrub board that I need. It's the wringer to wring the stuff out. Oh yeah, Gunner's getting really good at guitar. Electric, acoustic, slide. You know what he's going to do for a job for the summer? Because every summer he takes a summer job. He worked at a camp 2 years, just for like one session. He did a great job last year. He was taking care of little kids and stuff and working in the kitchen. He did a great job, but he doesn't want to do it again. And he worked for the city as a gardener. I think I might have showed you some of that in a video, or maybe not. I don't know. But he's worked. And he wants to go out busking with his dad this year. And he's so good on the guitar. And you know how happy that's going to make Aaron to be out there busking with his son. And Aaron's been out there busking for like a few years. And he goes to certain areas and like people kind of know him. So imagine he's going to show up with his son. It's going to be amazing. Anyway, Aaron will be very happy. And I told him, well, go with your dad. It's, you know, he can help him. And yeah, and he can play guitar for him. And Aaron is just like so happy. I mean, Gunner's just a huge blessing to us. He's just such a, yeah, busking, like playing music. Public musician. Musicien ambulant. Yeah. I mean, you know, why not? I mean, Gunner's a musician anyway, so the more practice he gets, the better. Because you could think like, well, you should get a job, you know, at, I don't know, Burger King or whatever, so you have something on your resume and you have a paycheck. But I think for him as a musician, all this experience of playing is more valuable because, you know, my son, he's never going to be a conformist. He's never going to, probably not going to make a very good employee. He's very talented though. So, and now he writes his own songs and they're good. And he sings too. Yeah. So, you know, I figure a lot of parents would be like, well, you should do this so that you have some way to earn a living and don't put too much focus on the music because you'll never make a living with that. But I think actually some people should put all their focus on the music. You need people like that in the world. I mean, imagine. And, you know, if some of the people that are well-known musicians now, if their parents or somebody had discouraged them from doing that, you lose a musician. That's all. It doesn't work very well when you're that kind of person and you try to make yourself conform and be someone's employee. It doesn't really work very well. So I figure it's better for him to just play lots of music. Yeah. Well, you know, Jana, she's a professional musician. She's a pianist, and she's a piano teacher now, and she does really well. She owns her own home, and she has lots of students, and so you can do it. You can make a living being a musician. Can make it work. She does concerts sometimes, but she mostly teaches. But she has a good life like that. It works well for her. So I think it's cool. I think Aaron will be very happy to be busking with his kid, and it's gonna be a real trip for Gunnar was born in 2007. It's going to be a real trip for like the people that have seen Aaron out there in his microphone. And then there's like a mini Aaron, you know, there's like Aaron Jr. with his long hair. I mean, the two of them, they're just like, they look so obviously father and son. It's going to be such a trip. So I guess that's it. I'm going to go and put the baby to bed. It's been really fun talking to you guys. I hope you don't mind, but you know, like I have never mastered using the fancy software to show you all the stuff that I've been looking at in the news. I just want to chat with you sometimes. Maybe one day I'll figure it out. That would be cool, but then I'd have to do it on my laptop. I wouldn't be able to do it on the phone. But it's been really great seeing you guys. You're so much fun. Oh, you guys, you have to see Aaron on his channel, Karaoke Fugitive. But wait, it's got a number. One last thing. I'm going to just tell you his channel. Karaoke Fugitive. I'll find the channel. I'll put it in the chat. Okay, but there's a specific song. You've got to see him do this, okay? Dire Straits, Six Blade Knife. This is the best. He did this, a great cover of this song. I'm going to put it in the chat, but first I have to pull it up. I'm going to go back to my chat. If you want to see what Aaron does, it's my absolute favorite. There you go. I just sent you the link. You go check that out. He's really good. It's weird because now I can see myself on the screen here. Go away. That's so distracting. Oops, I opened my Facebook by accident. That's also no good. Okay, yeah, go check out Aaron's thing. And thanks so much for joining me, you guys. I love you. You guys are the best audience. The best little truther fam. And if you want to join my Patreon, if you're not on there, it's patreon.com/thetruthergirls. And that way we can also keep in touch. You can message me. I put extra stuff on there. I have rewards if you wanna join. Just letting you know it's there. And can I say something in Spanish? Oh my God, I was about to leave. What do you want me to say in Spanish? Yeah, I can say things in Spanish. You know, you guys know I'm like 1/5 Spanish. Buenas noches. If you want to see me speak Spanish, watch my dental videos in Mexico. Yeah, like, because it's so dodgy here on YouTube. Like, if I ever do a Spanish accent, I'm liable to get canceled. I'm going to have to, like, show them my 23andMe results just to prove to them. I'm like, no, I have the right to do this. Go look at, yeah, I said buenas noches. I probably have a French accent, though, when I speak Spanish. But anyway, go check out my dental videos. You can see me speaking lots of Spanish. Anyway, it's been a lot of fun. I love you guys. And I'll see you soon. Have a good night. Okay, bye, guys.